Thank Welcome everyone to Overwatch Contenders Fall Series Korea. It's G Clef here, and with Unknown as always, it's playoff time for Korea. It's been a couple of weeks already, and we were able to see a lot of great teams, but it comes down to the top 3 teams from Group A, Group B. Who's going to win and move up to that grand final slot? We'll find that out in just 3 days. Actually, we're on that first day. Hey, Unknown, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and it's kind of also happy and sad at the same time because this is going to be the last season for 2023, and just looking at these teams conclude their year, we have currently 6 teams remaining. Of course, the top teams from each group are they got a bye to the semifinals, and we have the second and third place teams of each group going against each other today. For some of these teams, today is going to be the last day of 2023 competitive Overwatch for them.
Yeah, so they of course have to make it the best for them. The first place of each group they're actually waiting for tomorrow's match. We're only having 2 of those matches that's going to be happening, and one of those 2 teams are going to be dropping out. So it just comes down to that's what competitive is all about. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Better team does move out at the end of the day. So that's going to be it. Which teams are going to be moving out though? We're about to find the answer from those questions because we have some great teams. Of course, some teams already knocked out from the group stage because we only had a top 3 out of the 5. So, but very glad to see Panthera actually coming on top, which when we were casting Korea, Panthera was actually having 0-2.
Yeah, Panthera was having a very hard time.
That looks weird. They might just not make it to the playoff, but here we are. Panthera made it.
Yeah, they made it through a sliver. Everyone thought that Panthera would be at least contending for that first or second place when the groups were announced. But like, what do you know? Once the match actually started, they had a really rough early few weeks of the group stages. And then, yes, they did manage to claw back 2 wins and then made it 2-2. And they almost it went to the very last stage, Club, because the Group A was really interesting because, I mean, if you've been following the group stages all along, and even you, chat, on that last day, Revival could have almost triggered a 3-way tie for that 3rd place. And that's how close that group was. And Panthera was the sole survivor of that last day. And yeah, I mean, of course, everyone expected them to advance to the knockouts, but man, it was really close.
Yeah, that's what happens when a single team excels so much when a single team defeats everything else with a 4-0, 4-0. We actually have 2 teams, 0 and also Dreamers, who got 4-0 in each group. So it's about who gets second, who gets third, which means that second place, third place is going to be very, very close in terms of numbers. And also, I was also hoping for maybe we actually have like a tie in map differential too, and then we have to go down into like the details in the tie breaks.
Yeah, because like you said, G-Cliff, if Revival made that last day's upset on the last day of groups, the map differentials would have been also tied as well. So that meant that they would have triggered a additional tiebreaker match.
Yeah, which makes everything exciting all the time. But that did not happen. And here's the overview. As we went through the 2 groups, 5 teams. Now we're down to the 3 each. We're going to be going through the knockout stage now in the playoff. And we're starting with the Group B 2nd and the Group A 3rd place here.
Remember that this is going to be a single elimination format, so if you lose today, then there's no second chances for you. Of course, we will be also mentioning that on the match preview for later today as well, but this is somewhat of a different format. And usually playoffs were a double elimination format, but this time it gets a little bit more exciting. A lot of stakes at hand.
A lot of stakes and not that many matches that you have that many chances to go through. So if you get a match win, you move out. If you lose, you are gone. Since we already had the groups, as you can see the numbers from the groups, 0 Dreamers. They're near flawless. Dreamers plus 10. Yeah, you can say that.
Did they only drop 2 maps?
Yeah, you can also kind of. Some people are also arguing. I've seen some of the Korean commentators too that Group A was slightly stronger than Group B even. That people can argue, but we're flying through the overview, of course. As a bracket, Panthera did make it. They're going against SPG. That's the first match of the day, and JNGK versus Pokerface will be our second match for the night. And then the winners will be moving up to that semi-playoff. And then the winners from those matches will be going on the final day, the grand finals.
Yeah, and one exciting fact about the Grand Finals is that it's actually going to be a LAN event. So at the WDG Esports Studio in Seoul, Korea, tickets are on sale. So if there's anyone in the region, I recommend to go checking it out. But that's enough for that, and we have today's schedule. As G-Cuff mentioned, today we will be having the quarterfinal matches for today. Panthera going against SPG, JNGK going against Pokerface. Well, I think that on paper, Panthera should be winning, but that's also what I said on the group stage as well. They had a really rough group stage, like even considering that Panthera has a really strong roster. SPG showing that they were actually pretty better than how everyone expected them to be. And JNGK Pokerface, I think Pokerface should be a little bit more favorite, but JNGK showed vast improvements even throughout the group stage, so their job today is to prove that they're not pushovers here.
Yeah, of course. Lots of strong teams. The first place will not be playing today, as mentioned in the bracket again. But this is the real fight as the better team moves on. But Panthera finally came to the playoff. Can they actually go through the playoff and go to the grand finals?
Yeah, no second chances and no mercy, like as we've mentioned earlier, because this is, remember G-Clef, this is a single elimination format. Losing means elimination. You're not going to the losers bracket. You're not going to have that miracle rerun again. You lose, you go home.
Yeah, so it's going to be the real battle, as every single map in the portion will count. As I think getting into the teams more, I think we have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes down to the ult management for both sides. Panthera, of course, showed better signs in the later part, especially the week 2. But during week 1, Panthera also showed lots of weakness, which can still come up today.
Yeah, good point, G-Cliff, because Panthera, yes, if you look at their roster here, it's full of talent. They have ex-Overwatch League talent. They have best, players that have been clouded as some of the best talents in Contenders Korea. But however, they still need to figure out which composition they're more comfortable with. We've seen various versions of Panthera. We've seen the good versions. We've seen the bad versions. Like, for example, we're having Slee playing today. So this kind of hints of a double flex support, which I really like, because remember, Arpen is traditionally a main tank, and then main tank usually means that they need to put up the tempo a lot. They need to set their own tempo, not following the tempo of the opponent, and that means playing a good Lucio tempo game, which they haven't been able to show. So maybe starting Slee is recognizing those kind of weaknesses and starting with their strengths.
Yeah, maybe they need to reinforce a little bit depending on what they want to do in order to win against SPG, the members that you can see on this screen. They've been having a okay time on the other side of the group, but when these new teams clash against each other now, let's see who comes on top. Yeah, this roster is also very strong.
Exactly. So SPG, we've been seeing a lot of different compositions from them. I've been really personally impressed with the evolution of Milkaru here. Milkaru playing in the Overwatch League Opens and knockouts as well. He's been known as a wrecking ball one trick, but these days we've been seeing a lot of SPG different compositions from SPG, like the Orisa comp. We've seen their Doomfist comp. We also seen some of the Rhine compositions as well. And not to mention that whenever SPG is in kind of like a in a pinch, they can also always take out that wrecking ball. And their first map is going to be Antarctic Peninsula, which is SPG's pick because they are the higher seed.
Oh. That's certainly one great moments, and that's going to show some special moments for Milgaru. And I'm also a pretty big Ball fan myself. Not favoring SPD in any way, but Ball can cause a lot of trouble, especially that mine. Plus, I'm not totally sure if Panthera will be ready, because you don't really get to face against Ball too much in this type of competition.
And then I think, yeah, like what you said, like going on what you said, G-Clef, because if you play the Ball, that means Panthera is kind of forced into playing the Sombra, because Sombra, a Ball is a big nuisance if you're not having the Sombra to hack the Ball and deny those pile drivers. And also the fact that Panthera is running a double flex support, possibly a double flex support, meaning that they might lack the utility to keep that Ball in check. So, like you said, G-Clef, whether they play the Ball or not is going to be of great importance in this game. And as we're seeing the hovers It looks like Milgaru is actually going to play the ball.
Yeah, and we do see that Sombra from Hidden on the other side. And some initial damages being done
I think
early
Panthera
on.
actually anticipated the ball pick because remember Hidden is coming out with the Sombra, and you don't usually play Sombra if you don't anticipate the ball to be on play. So I think Panthera won the initial composition gamble here. And so this first fight's going to be really, really important.
Oh, action hatch. The field is now gone, but okay.
Aid has the configuration, so a lot of damage up for Arpen is very low and down, although taking down Arpen. So this means that SPG has first take on the point.
And also counter pick from Becky on the other side. Getting Wuchan down, making it 4-4.
Becky is definitely the player to look at Panthera here. Becky's mechanical prowess is definitely something that Panthera is looking forward to as their win conditions that they want to win today's match.
Yeah, but Doomfist does come back into the battlefield pretty early. So we'll be joining in the fight, and overall Panthera might just have a lot more support.
Oh, good nade from Develop to take down Aid. But Becky is traded out. So this means that Panthera needs to commit ultimates in order for them to keep the point. Yes, Arpen did take down Uchan, but so is Develop, and with Slee very, very low, there might not be enough sustain for Panthera to keep this point.
Now here's Migaru trying to do what he can. There's Becky, but as a Kenji, you can't really take the entire team by yourself. And also Sombra, so in terms of controlling here, SPG can, once they start controlling, it could actually snowball really hard.
Yeah, so, that was a good pick from him because remember, Panthera has 2 ultimates here, and Becky with that Dragon Blade would have definitely wanted to use that to take down that point, especially because they know that Uchan did not have the rally. However, taking down that Hidden Sombra bought SPG very precious time for them to stall out, and this means that it's going to get even harder for Panthera, and that kill on Develop's going to delay them even more. So Becky, even with that Dragon Blade, it cannot find that timing to use that to take back the point.
Delaying the entire team from coming back early on. Here's Arpen. You just can't use that ultimate as Sombra is coming soon. And, well, before Ana comes and joins the entire team, the rest of the team is going to be down within that duration. So SPG finding the right moment.
Oh, is Becky going to be stalled? He is! And that means it's going to be final fight territory for the side of Panthera. Remember, G-Club, Becky had that Dragon Blade for a while, and everything about ultimates is that the timing, and when you have the ultimates and the opponent doesn't, that's when you have the advantage. But even with the Dragon Blade right now, SPG has enough ultimates for them to win the fight. Yes, they might drop a few members, however, they have the ultimates to turn the fight around.
Use it now, Minefield. Already poured out from Milgaru, still having 3 ultimates.
The pulse connects as Slee is down.
No.
This is overtime ticking. Becky has to use that Dragon Blade in desperation. Can he make any value with it?
Can you make it? But Becky goes down early on with just getting 1, although still surviving. It is just up to Hidden, I believe. Sombra can't really do much. 99% time sticking.
Nobody can touch. And that is first round on the side of SPG. Yes, Panthera put up a good fight or two, however, SPG looked the dominant team throughout.
Yeah, once SPG really got the hold of the point, Doomfist is of course great, but onto the other side, you have to really pick fights from the side and let Genji get those kills, or Sombra getting those early hacks onto the ball, which did not really happen throughout the entire map, except for the first few seconds. And other than that, Panthera seemed like a lost team already right after that moment.
Yeah, this kind of connects with the pre-match comments that I said about Panthera. It looks like they still haven't figured out what kind of composition they're most comfortable with. Yes, like you said, the Doomfist has value, and they won a few fights with it. However, you don't win a round or a map with winning a few fights. You have to win the war, and I think Panthera right now is either that they think that it was a mis-execution, not the compositional problem, so they're putting the Doomfist up again. SPG with... Okay, wow.
Okay. Why was that Doomfist over there on the side, okay? Can't really read exactly what that reasoning was, but I guess Doomfist can come back into the fight really early, so that doesn't matter as much. But Milgaro already up to 38% because of that reason.
And remember, Panthera was denied even the opportunity for a first fight because Arpen fell so early. They did not even have the opportunity to fight, and they just gave away the point to SPG. And it's like retaking the point rather than taking a point on neutral ground is two different things.
Arpen diving into the team con was able to find some damage, but you do have to run out as Becky off to the side. Not
One
bad on
saving grace on the side of Panthera is that Becky is very, very quick on those Dragon Blade, already at 83%. However, Slee is down again. Yes, Luciman is traded, but remember, the point is still on the side of SPG, so if it's an even fight, if it's an even neutral fight, then SPG is going to feel good about this because the timer is ticking towards SPG's favor.
Yeah, losing 1-1, made an equalizer. Here's the Blade, but can we find the timing? Okay, gets one, Bastion down.
I think SPG should just give this up. Yeah, so they just baited out the Dragon Blade, and also, a few other members of SPG fall, so I think SPG should just, reset and use... Now they're approaching their ultimates as well. They have the Blizzard coming up, they have the Gravitic Flux coming up, they have the Sound Beat, and also the Window coming up. So this should be a turn that SPG should be winning. It would be the best if SPG uses some of their ultimates before Slee's rally comes up. But also Panthera, the silver lining for Panthera would be that they have EMP as well, so maybe they can use that aggressively to thwart any kind of offensive maneuvers from SPG.
And also Nano available if you want to give that to anyone else because the Drake Blade is not there. Doomfist with the Nano.
Okay, this is good aggression from Panthera. This is only a Nano boost used, so they have, not only do they have time to farm more ultimates. Oh, Becky falls. That's going to be a little bit of a complication.
That EMP was perfect timing. SPG, they're dropping ults, but it might be too late.
Do you really want to use their flux there? No.
Yeah, that's right. Hidden's EMP timing was way too crucial in that team fight, SPG, because I remember seeing almost 4 or 5 ults being ready, but no one was able to press that because of that EMP. Perfect timing from Hidden.
Yeah, Becky fell early, so I thought that would be SPG's opportunity to take that point and possibly use some ultimates here. But in the end, as a result, as you can see here, they're using ultimates, but they're not winning the fights yet.
Only with Blizzard can they do more. Panthera's actually winning with it.
Another Blade! Are you kidding me? And that's going to be the end of Milkara as well. So, SPG, they have to be on a desperate touch mission here. Aid might be in an
Tracer Sombra,
location,
so they're trying to touch.
But they're going to have to give their life away for it. Yes, the triple blink.
But after the recall, who else is going to be there? Can you have the trans? Okay, Sombra did get the touch.
It has to be the Tracer.
Yeah, now the entire team Milgaro on point, so they bought good enough time at least.
Yeah, so that was a good touch operation for
Can you hold it though? That's the big question. No ultimates for either side.
Okay, Panthera decides to play it a little bit safe. They don't want to risk any members just to touch the point, but Becky is down. That's also a complication on their side as well. SPG's ultimates fastly approaching. They don't even need ultimates to win this fight, and suddenly, G-Club, this is going to be a final fight where the winner is going to take round 2.
We're going back to summer here with Tracer Sombra on both sides. Yeah, with the Nano to keep that Bridget alive, which I don't think it was a terrible decision because there's no Genji anyhow for Panthera.
Yeah, if Brig dies, that would have been, they would have to start the final fight without a member. So yes, as long as much as they wanted to save that Nano, they had to use it. But Slee is down. SPG still has that sound barrier. Sound barrier saves the Milgaru, and it looks like it's on Hidden, and that EMP hits everyone else. But is there any follow-up damage? Uchan falls, but Becky falls also.
Arpen hacked, and Doomfist is down. No one else can actually touch the point. It's just Hidden.
Hidden touches, but is taking down the Brig. It's not fast enough for the touch, and SPG takes Antarctic Peninsula.
that switch into Tracer Sombra from SPG literally saved the team. It was, I believe, about 99 to 60 something percent at that moment.
Yeah.
And immediately coming back. Of course, the ball can roll and get to the point pretty easily too.
Yeah, but Milkaru was on Orisa and had a decent ult charge. So I think that they had faith in their DPS lineup to touch. And what was really impressive there, G-Clev, was that with just one of either Sombra or Tracer, they wouldn't have been able to make it, because yes, they did make the initial touch, but they had to make the second touch as well.
Exactly.
In order for them to be alive long enough for the team to come. And that made the difference.
Yeah, sometimes you have your thoughts and you have your own gameplay, but it just doesn't work. But perfect touch, triple blink, Tracer recalls immediately, Sombra. You have to touch the point. If you don't, you literally lose at that moment. So lots of cool moments from SPG. They're certainly on a lead with a 1-0 score, but when we come back, we'll have that map number 2 for you guys. It is the playoff time. Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea Playoff Day number 1. And as SPG right now seems to be winning in every way, I think, almost in every way, in terms of team fights, the duel, the teamwork. Panthera certainly, as we have always mentioned, they have the mechanical skills, but to me, it doesn't seem like they're all together in pieces right now.
Yeah, Panthera with this roster, if you look at the names on this roster, you just can't help but expect a little bit much more from them. This should be a roster that should be aiming to winning Contenders the entire thing. But as we've seen today right now, they're still struggling to find out what works for them. I think our pen has a little bit. I don't think necessarily think that Doomfist is bad, nor that Arpen is bad on the Doomfist, but I think that they do need to kind of like move away from the Doomfist and find out.
Potentially.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing is that SPG, like despite having Milkaru and Milkaru kind of like being evaluated as somewhat of a one trick on the ball, is showing a lot more flexibility on the compositions and making those crucial changes at the right time to make those things work. Like again, I have to credit Milkaru over and over again,
yes.
because even today, he showed us the ball, he showed us the Orisa already, and it's not just like he knows how to play that pick, he's playing on the tactical level, and he knows what he needs to do both mechanically and strategically what this pick is required in that composition.
So would you rather just have a zero slope and go straight in a line, flat line, or become a cosine and go up and down all the time? Because in terms of teamwork, if you have a flat line slope, that you can actually match with the teammates easier. But if you go up and down so much, in terms of teamwork, and if you're not the player, if you're the teammate on the same team, it might be a little harder to match that different type of play. So I think that it comes down to SPG with that zero slope, and Panthera just moving up and down. Let's see if they can actually bring that up a lot more in coming King's Row, because it is their pick on hybrid.
Yeah, King's Row kind of brings a lot of thoughts here. Potential high ground play available for Panthera, meaning that maybe we can expect a little bit of the Winston or maybe even the Doomfist again. And I'm not sure, because we've seen a lot of Blizzard World recently a lot on Overwatch, on the Overwatch League, and a lot of and on the other side, we've seen on Contenders APAC, a lot of teams don't
close to zero.
Yeah, they don't really prefer. So I don't know how the logic is between the map picks here, but I do think that on King's Row, at least on first point, they might want to use Arpen's prowess on the main tank hero pools to, I don't know, just disintegrate whatever strategy SPG has in mind.
And we were mentioning that even if this is a map where it does not really favor Zarya, some teams still play Zarya on this map. And with these two rosters, less likely, but we'll see. Instantly going with that Echo Bastion up DPS line for SPG.
Okay, here the Doomfist makes a little bit more sense on King's Row, because yes, he can have access on the high ground compared to the Sigma, where you have to walk all the way around if you want to get high ground access. But I think SPG has a good countermeasure here, because I don't think there's anyone on the side of Panthera that can effectively take out the Echo. And Uchan is down.
Unless you can pinpoint on the backline supports as easily. And that's a trade with Doomfist, but of course, after the recall, the respawn, pretty much faster for Panthera.
Yeah, much faster for Panthera, but Uchan died earlier, so Uchan will be on that fight by the time Arpen will be back.
And some good focus fight, 1-1 trade again.
We're seeing a few trades, but Becky with that pulse stick on Uchan means that Panthera will be having at least 2 ticks here. The choice is going to be SPG's on whether they want to contest after that second tick or not. But if you look at the ult charges here, G-Club, SPG might think that they want to contest.
Can you actually go for?
They don't.
For a Milgaru stunned, and the point already gone. So there's less of a reason to contest right now and even drop any ults. So just going to go back into their comfort zones. Oh, Panthera actually chasing.
That was
a good amount of target. Nano used.
Good aggression on the side of Panthera. Because remember, G-Club, even though if you cap first point, that small tunnel arc on right after point A is one of the choke points that the defending team is very advantageous in. But by making those stagger kills happen, oh, that was a greedy play from Becky and got punished from Uchan. Like, going back to that point, making those stagger kills so that they just can go through that tunnel makes things a lot easier for the side of Panthera.
Yeah, since they already turned the first corner now. And SPG, although, right behind that Doomfist, hack.
Oh,
comes.
taken
Oh.
down. Burst
Well
down.
focused. Yeah, with aid on the other side.
Oh, Becky, that stick, but was the immortality field was there, but
It's still
the
the
follow-up
damage.
damage did kill Aid, so they do have some breathing space, but Becky is down.
Okay.
Got punished once again.
Well, the DPS one more trade. It's up to the tank and the back lines. All the ultimate just string drop. Some more hacks. All those Sombra play has been, and plus the Tracer play has been pretty good, but Panthera just coming on top with the mechanics.
Yeah, both Briggs had the rally up. However, Lisuman died earlier, so the sustain was not enough for SPG to win that fight. So I think it is going to be, once again, I think this time SPG should be able to contest at the end of the point, unless they don't want to, or Panthera doesn't let them.
Oh, Arpent's
3 meters, are they going to give it for free?
Oh.
No, but it looks like they are. Yes,
That was
there
a
was that
touch.
brief touch, but no, it was not enough for stopping Panthera to cap point B. This is a very early point B cap, G-Club, because it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the time bank. And it's not that it's not even that Panthera was using all of their ultimates to make this happen.
And SPG has been holding a lot of their ultimates because they're getting picked left and right, one by one. And when that happens, of course, you just cannot have the perfect line of ultimates. So Panthera, Arpen's Doomfist on King's Row looks very, very different compared to what we've been seeing in the control.
Yeah, so I mean, not just Arpan, but Panthera as a team itself is looking like two different teams. I think maybe they just woke up as a team, for lack of a better word. But SPG, they need to, like, on the side of SPG, they have all the ultimates in the world right now. They need to make this count. Wait, was that just manual hacked and canceled? I think so.
That was immediate response there. And Arpen.
No, it wasn't, because no, that couldn't be, because there was no Sombra on the side of Panthera. However, it doesn't look like the Flux registered, and SPG is falling like toothpicks
Oh man,
here.
this might be it.
And
with
yeah,
3 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, 8 with Genji immediately dead. And that is it, 3:08 in
wow.
King's Row. That's a lot of time for the final point.
Especially considering that it's King's Row here, G-Club. Remember, King's Row is not an easy map to full cap. Like, not even mentioning that
That didn't even seem hard for Panthera.
Yeah, there were, I think, the only time they lost a fight was on point A. And after that, I don't think the payload ever stopped. I'm really curious to see how Milgaru's Graphitic Flux was kind of nullified, because looking at the damage there, it doesn't look like Milgaru's Flux registered, but I thought that was a manual hack, but Panthera didn't have any Sombras. The Sombra was actually on the side of the SPG. So what happened over there?
So I guess it either might have just missed totally.
I have no idea, but
yeah, within that contest, it's going to reveal hard. But Panthera, that's a lot of time, and SPG to push that, to push all the way to the final point with that much time, it's going to be a big stress. Now they're on to their attack.
Well, I mean that, but the first win condition for SPG is to still full cap. So they need to focus on that. Like, time bank can come later. They need to focus on just at least full capping. And what an interesting composition on the side of Panthera. Panthera with the Zarya Genji comp. I don't think we've seen this very often from Panthera here.
And is Arpen Doomfist for the push made a lot of sense, but there are lots of other things that you can still play. Not Zarya, but we'll see, as this might be giving a lot less pressure for Becky to stay alive.
Oh, SPG is making wholesale swaps. They want to use that TP to rush into the face of Panthera. And they're on the high ground, and the Mei wall is there.
Great anti-heal by Develop. Was not able to
no
lead into any
casualties
kills.
just yet, but the entirety of SPG made it to high ground, so they have the choice to make any further action after that TP comes online again.
Pushing them down from the high ground. Oh,
Arpen is down!
Although, That wall was beautiful.
Yes, Milgaru is sleeping, but I don't think it's going to matter a lot because everyone on the side of Panthera is falling, and this is going to be easy point A for the side of SPG here.
And then getting an extra after the charge. Milgaru with that Reinhardt. Back on point, and Panthera might have some time to contest, but it's going to be a losing fight.
Yeah, Doomfist, I don't think he wants to contest here. Just giving up his life and just dying there means that it's going to be the same as Panthera's attack. Like, losing your tank at that point will mean that the Arc tunnel is going to be free, and they don't want that to happen. So now Panthera wants to defend this Arc tunnel, but it looks like it's not going to be easy, especially if Becky falls, and Becky was so close to that Dragon Blade. Arpen very low, but is healing him as the best he can, but Develop falls first, and that means it's not going to be a lot of healing for Arpen. Arpen falls. That is going to be yet another team fight win for SPG and a free pass to that tunnel.
But still, Panthera, they tried to choke, and when they're choking, they have somewhat less sources of poking in that way, and also not really having a solid tank who can just block all those damage. I think it's hurting Panthera in a lot of ways when they're defending. So instead, going all the way into the tunnel, the fight did not go according to what they wanted to do. But SPG, certainly having a better team comp seems like it's helping them a lot.
I really like the tactical rotations from SPG here. Remember, they started with the Sigma. They went to the Reinhardt as soon as they saw the Zarya. And now that Arpen's back on the Doomfist, they're going to the Orisa, which is a lot more efficient than going with the Reinhardt. Oh, Develop falling means that they will not be having that Nano Blade. Only the Dragon Blade in effect here. Denied by Milgaru. Yes, Uchan falls, but who cares because SPG is going to win this fight.
The payload is still pushing.
Oh, that kill on Develop was so crucial, G-Clef, because it would have been a different fight if it was the Nano Blade instead of just the Dragon Blade.
I do think so too. Yeah, with that Nano, Becky would have been staying alive for a lot longer, getting more kills than that. Now window up from Lee Soo-min all the way back. Milgaru is just having the time of his day here.
Oh, what? That javelin hit! Oh my god! How do they make this happen?
Doomfist kind of stuck in the middle.
So Panthera is in quite a weird position here. They do have both support ultimates on, but there's no there's no nano suitable targets except the Doomfist. Okay, but actually makes it work because Hidden is clicking heads with that Hanzo pick. So, okay, a breath of fresh air and stability for Panthera and SPG. Yes, they did lose that fight, but they have 3 ultimates now. They probably want to start up with the overclock and click a few heads, and then if the fight gets extended a little bit, then the Terra Surge will be there to finish things off. And on the side of Panthera, they have to wait until they have to use the rally, or they can just kill Aid.
Does work, and Panthera SPG, they should have known, as the Doomfist has been hiding in that position for a while now.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was that they should have to buy time with that rally and wait for that Dragon Blade to come up, but they don't even have to because they made that assassination happen on Aid. That's going to delay things even more.
Ooh,
remember, the timer is on 3 minutes and 5 seconds now, so even though if SPG full caps, they're going to have a worse time back than Panthera.
This might be a huge fight. We're looking into almost up to 8 ults coming soon. But no nano, so Panthera, they really have to make it here. There's that first dragon.
That's mainly a zoning ultimate.
And
the Terra Surge is there. It's gonna work that if Arpen goes down, but the ultimate is there for his own survival. And Arpen is not down yet. Slee with that rally to keep himself and his teammates alive. Arpen is frozen though, will not be able to survive, but Becky is there with the Dragon Blade taking down 2, although falls 2 as well. So it's going to be a reset for SPG. What a fight from Panthera, and what a performance from Becky.
Even without that nano, Becky held his blade for the longest time, wanted to have the perfect chance after having all those ults being used by SPG. Aid, although Milgaru, they dropped down all the ults. Okay, nothing else can actually block my blade right now. I don't need the nano. I don't have the Nana, first of all, so I need to be careful. Becky reading the scene perfectly, and another assassination from Hidden.
Nano, Genji, and also 8 fell with a headshot on Hidden. So this is gonna be yet another delay. Becky is very, very low.
Oh, that's literally 1 HP. Okay, finally healed up.
But the one to fall asleep. So this might be a window of opportunity for SPG here.
Okay, Sound Barrier ready for SPG. Can they really go for the push? Arpen, very strong, high energy.
Good Bionade by develop on Aid, but the Immortality Fuel is there to save the Bastion.
Dragon Strike to isolate Bastion.
Oh!
Ooh, eventually got that. Got that kill with the Dragon. Nicely done from Hidden.
Yeah, good ultimate from Hidden to force
Full
out
energy.
Aid. Oh, this is a DPS Zarya. Who says Zarya is a tank if you're on full energy?
Becky all the way in the back gets the kill, and Panthera another successful defense.
This is a little bit of a panic from
50
SPG
seconds.
now because it's only 50 seconds like you mentioned, G-Clef. And also if you look at the ultimates, only the Gravitic Flux is going to be online very soon. Oh, that's gonna kill right down the... Oh my goodness, Hidden.
Now that's a Shimada, brother. Hidden Becky, they're making a lot of these work. And all of a sudden now Aid also coming back as a Hanzo. So it's okay, let's go with the arrow duel.
Yeah, SPG needs variables here because they know that they can't win on a regular fight. They need that headshot variable
seconds.
because Panthera with the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Blade, also with the Nano coming up
coming
soon.
in 10%.
SPG is not gonna win on normal terms, so they need the Hanzo. They need Aid's Hanzo to make a headshot variable. There is that Nano Blade on site. And Becky, oh,
that's it.
Beautiful from Becky, and I think that is going to be it. And Panthera evens out the series.
Panthera keeping King's Row into their map. Wow, what a map! As we were saying before going to the map, saying Panthera looks very worrisome going into second map. Though map that one, they looked like they were all over the place, all over the paper. Compared to SPG, but it's actually on the other side. And once Milgaru doesn't get to play that ball as much, his Sigma play today seems very not on the same paper compared to what the other team is actually doing. So quite questionable. Depending on the map, some players getting a lot more power, some players getting a lot less power. That's of course a choice of what you get from losing a map before.
Yeah, I think I understand the logic for playing the Sigma because if you don't have access to high ground, just use the Sigma shield to kind of deny the angles on high ground on the side of Panthera. But like you said, G-Clef, the Sigma pick doesn't look like it's working as much as the other picks that Milgaru is playing. So maybe that's what they're going to work on that short break that we're going to have.
Yeah. First match, it's already getting so much better with that 1-1 score here on them. We'll take that short break, and will Panthera continue to deliver with their mechanics, or can SPG come back in the series? We'll see you real soon. welcome back everyone to Fall Series Korea Playoff Day number 1. We have 1-1 tied, a series in our hands now with Panthera somehow, someway coming back alive with full power basically.
I definitely have to praise the DPS lineup of Panthera there. Yes, it's a team effort, but man, Becky's Genji and Hidden's Hanzo, especially on that point C defense, was impeccable. It was so impressive. Yes, like again, I do have to praise the entire team. Like Arpen, we haven't seen a lot of that Zarya composition on the side of Arpen and Panthera like as a team, but it looks like they have practiced it long enough for them to have that proficiency to take it on King's Row and win that map.
Was an amazing map for Panthera, but now since SPG did drop that second map, they get to pick, and we go into that flashpoint. The map is Suravasa. As you were mentioning early on, with some Lucio, as the tempo control can actually be hard for one of these two teams specifically.
Yeah, so it looks like to be honest, SPG doesn't have a lot of choices to work with, to be honest. It's just Suravasa or Nijung City, but I think Suravasa is a little bit of a better pick if you want a lot of more skirmishes, because Nijung City inevitably has a little bit of a wider or a little bit bigger, more open control points. Suravasa, I think SPG is like, hey, we are still confident in our ability to win small skirmishes and also all-out fights. So I think that's kind of like an expression of their mechanical prowess and their confidence in winning team fights. So Suravasa should be, like, I think on paper SPG's favor, especially looking at what we've been seeing today. And like you've mentioned, G-Clef, I don't hear any substitutions from the side of Panthera, so it's going to be Slee and Develop. Slee is not necessarily known for his Lucio, so that
got the switch.
may be that difference, but I may be wrong.
Oh, but back into okay, so they did have Slee did think about the competition twice, but ended up going back, and here is talking about who came back. Here is that ball from Milgaru.
However, Panthera kind of knows that this is going to happen because they have the Sombra in play. They just want to make life hard for Milgaru and his ball.
Hidden Becky, the DPS line from Panthera, they're awake. They're fully awake now. As Hidden caught off guard, but although
I think I was really surprised at all those choice here with the Tracer, because if you look at the rest of SPG, it's mostly a pick composition, like poke composition, but I think all those job here is to take out, to almost stalk the Sombra, so that the Sombra does not make life hard enough for Milgaru, and if he does that, then the rest of the SPG squad is going to do their jobs, which they did, and take back the point.
Yeah, very, very similar comp to what we have seen from an Arctic from our first control map, as this is basically 5 control in a huge map. So it is a very similar team comp indeed, and although Tracer has been making a lot of harassments for Panthera this entire control.
So Hidden's taking a different approach here. He's not trying to take half the ball, because that didn't work, because they know that all those Tracer is looking at him. But he was trying to hack the backline and make a kill or two, but didn't happen. But although it takes down Slee, what a good pulse ball. And also the pulse pistols to take out Develop. Without the backline, Panthera is going to be no more, and they have to go back to spawn and lick their wounds.
Man, all those right on point, looking for that window, was going left and right, trying to see if he can land that pulse bomb exactly on the point. And Panthera, on the other side, Doomfist was not able to get the countermeasure as much. So it is going to be SPG getting that first flashpoint, and then we're moving.
Ooh, so SPG is even closer to the next flashpoint as well, so they will be having positional advantage. Milgaru is the all-seeing ball here. They know where Panthera is, they know what direction they're going, and they have... Milgaru has the mind as well, so maybe he'll... Oh, he's not going to use them. Maybe saving it for later, but Becky very, very low. This is going to be very important because he has the Dragon Blade. He's healed up. He's nanoed. That's going to be the Nano Blade. Oh, it takes down Uchan.
In the air. Well done with the blade. holding up to the perfect chance.
Yeah, that's also denying the captive Sun from Uchan as well. So both support ultimates down on the side of SPG.
Artillery 8 also dropping a lot of ults, everything except for that minefield, basically.
Hey, they did touch, so they delayed the cap, Panthera's cap, as much as possible. So Panthera is not getting as much progress on the point as they would have wanted.
Okay, Becky with that counter. No.
Arpen very, very low, but managed to survive. Slate taking down, Becky taking down as well. Becky does take all though with him. However, it does not look like it'll turn the tide of the fight as three members are absent on the side of Panthera. Balls is taking a nap. Hammond, wake up.
Dart, unless Milgaru does something amazing.
Wait. Okay, 8 is taking down, but the point flip is there. This means Panthera has a chance to take this back real quick. That's a good nano on Arpen. Arpen does not take down Uchan though. Only the immortality
nano. Yeah, even with the nano, the moment you go in, you see that field and the pylon, and your targeting has to be on those things first. And SPD, even with Torbjorn
Milgaru
getting poked out,
pressure.
Here's that Matrix.
That's the blade, but I don't know if it was worth it. Becky, everyone on your team was down. Did you really wanted to do that? However, that means that SPG will be flipping the point, and without that blade, it might be a bit of a difficult fight for Panthera, because remember, Flashpoint ticks up really fast, and yes, if they win, they can take the second Flashpoint. However, if they lose, this is likely meaning that it is SPG going to take second Flashpoint as well.
Yeah, that blade can be questionable, but I think he was already pressing the button exactly at the moment when his teammates were going down. So not the worst, but hold on as he kept his son from Uchan. Hacked immediately from hidden.
Oh, ball is... Oh, wait! He lives to see... He lives to tell the tale.
Player.
Arpen ults in.
Doomfist.
And takes down 8. The immortality field is down. And so is Lusumid. Uchan. Oh, dear. This is actually...
steal the point.
Yeah, Panthera not only going to steal the point, I don't think there's anyone... maybe Ball can touch?
Yeah, Ball's rolling.
Unless Hidden can manual hack Milgaru. No, I don't...
No, yeah, Milgaru's off the point already.
Yeah, so they just gave up. Milgaru just took a guess on where the next Flashpoint is going to be, but unfortunately it was
not the right one. It's actually on the top, not at the bottom. You did have a pretty good chance, though. It was going to be a 3 out of 5. Oh, 2 out of 5, excuse me.
So, yeah, it was going to be 33%, right? Oh, wait a second, Milgaru, dude! He did not see that coming. Well, Hidden was there the entire time for a few seconds to see Milgaru, and that is going to give Panthera the upper hand in first capping that third Flashpoint.
That's the risk of having your own rotation without your teammates. It's risky, and that's actually too much risk sometimes if you're alone.
Yeah, Panthera is actually in a really good spot here. Yes, like this, because they can use the initial aggression with that nano, but Becky is down, so that forces out the EMP from Hidden in order for Panthera to win this fight. However, it does not look like anyone is taken down by it.
Early on.
Multi-core takes down Hidden.
Yeah, Hidden was pushed all the way into that lava.
The floor is lava. 8 is taking down, but so is the rest of Panthera. Arpen has ult to maybe survive, but will not be using it because...
Good choice.
Yeah, he needs that ultimate on the next fight.
Yeah, certainly needs one. As a few more ultimates are coming online soon enough. For Panthera, Becky, Slee also very close to it. SPD, they have been holding it too, especially the backline supports. The Matrix and the Captive Sun ready to go. Wuchan, who has been delivering some extra damage on their DPS, because so far 8, again going back to the Bastion now, has been the focus point a lot.
Early Captive Sun from Wuchan does not catch anyone. nor does all those pulse bombs. So that's 2 ultimates gone wide on the side of SPG. But Becky is down. Becky with that Dragon Blade was the key for Panthera to winning that fight. And at 88%, this might be
driver to keep them out
for the 3rd point. Uchan taking down Develop means that Panthera, Wesley used the
rally early on just to maybe buy some more extra time, but it was going to be a losing fight anyhow. And SPG 99%. That's a 2-1 now. Panthera, can they come back with the same team comp?
Well, I think they will, because they still have that. They still have that synergy going on with the Nanoblade coming up soon, and not a lot of answering ultimates from the side of SPG. So they should be able to win that first fight on Gardens. But if Becky gets picked out early, like he did in the last fight, then SPG still has a chance.
Yes, unknown. That just cannot happen anymore, as Becky is holding that blade too, with Nano available. So either they make the play now, there's a minefield, or early on from Milgaru.
Taking down
Slee gone.
So Panthera
4v5. They want to commit.
I don't think they
Panthera, you can maybe look for...
No. They just want to...
It's still too early, but still, you're down 2-1. You're giving a lot of percentages to your opponent. By the next fight, it'll be close to 30.
Well, still Panthera should be, like, on paper, should be able to win this fight.
Okay, hidden. Okay, I'll trade from 8.
Panthera needs to save a lot of ultimates here, because yes, they are capable of winning this fight without using a ton of ultimates, and even, like, already they conceded like 52%, which is pretty much a lot, and if they want to catch up on that progress, they need to use this Nano Blade on the next fight. So good ult discipline on the side of Panthera, of using only the Doofus ult to win that fight. And SPG's like ult progress is really, really slow. I don't think I've seen a lot of ultimates being charged like for a while now.
Especially onto this point here, and here's Develop all the way back, trying to catch.
Needs to survive and survive long enough for the Nanoblade, but Nanoblade is denied.
8 with the headshot gets the final kill. So everything up to Hidden. There's that overclock. Uchan with the Captive Sun early on.
And remember, Hidden also popped the overclock. So that's 1,
Panthera
2,
has nothing.
3, 4 ultimates denied on the side of Panthera. So Panthera lost a 4 ultimate fight, and at 65%, this is looking like an uphill fight on the side of Panthera here.
I'm almost drawing a checkmark on SPG already from Servasa, but let's see, because Panthera can make the miracle happen. But they have 0 ultimate.
Milgaru! This is going to be the opportunity.
Hold on.
This is Panthera's opportunity if they have anything.
Milgaru! Panthera all the way up here. Aid being cornered off the point.
SPG is probably going to concede the point and wait for Milgaru to join again.
Will that be the biggest moment of mistake from Milgaru?
Aid take it down!
Okay,
but
early.
Becky is traded out. Develop traded out as well, so
no
Milgaru will be going out to the point and using that minefield. 99.
Okay, there's a touch. And there's that minefield. No one else can go into it. Although, looking for the snipe. No pulse bomb yet.
Pulse bomb at 96. So if although it takes out anyone without pulse bomb, it's curtains. And remember,
okay, that's
it. Arpet is down. Becky at 87% with that blade.
Okay, Genji's back. Can you make it happen with no blade? Yeah,
no, denied.
92%.
And that is it. Nobody to give that nano to.
Slee Develop. They can only use the ultimates because they have no one else to give it to. And with just the 2 supports, that is going to be it. SPG grabbing Servasa Flashpoint with a 2-1 map score now.
What an exciting last fight. Like,
Milgaru,
that last fight could have gone anywhere because Milgaru was taken out like early in that fight, and I thought SPG probably dropped the sweat there. They were like, oh my god, that shouldn't have happened. And then they were really behind. And I think it was a good decision on the side of SPG to just concede the fight and wait for Milkhour to come back. Because if they just decided to commit to that fight at 4v5, they would have been wiped out. And not only that, they would have given enough ult charge for Becky's Dragon Blade. And also, since Develop had that nano, it would have been a losing fight for them. But just disengaging at the right time, giving Milkhour time to come back, and focusing that fire on Becky and Develop was the key to winning that map.
There are a lot of funny moments and also some really clutch moments for both sides. That's what Flashpoint is all about. But at the end of the map, SPG did grab that win, but will they continue? They only need one more map now. We'll take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll have that fourth map. Push. Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea Playoff. And man, some great moments for both teams. We're going back and forth, back and forth. I'm expecting this to go to our final map, but we go into push, which basically means when they're on an offense, they keep on pushing. And it's the perfect map for Panthera here when they're down 1-2.
I think they have to go Casio. Like, New Queen Street is too much. There's too many angles for the ball to be in play. I definitely think that even though Milkhour is showing impressive progress on other picks like the Orisa, but I just think that the ball is just Milkhour's kind of like secret weapon here. Well, not so secret weapon, but I think that if it's Panthera's going to pick, as they will, it does have to be Coloseo if they want a chance. I also think that Panthera they look a lot better when they're playing the Zarya, specifically because Becky is the main output of damage on the team. Yes, Hidden did show a lot of good moments on the Hanzo on King's Row. However, like if you look at the series in a whole right now, it looks like Becky is going to be the main carry of this team, and having that Zarya to provide extra protection and having Becky up a little bit more, like even like a second or two more to get those critical shurikens down or making that those resets happen, looks like is going to be Panthera's biggest win condition here.
With their win condition, it has to be matching in Esperanza now. No new queen, no Colosseo.
Esperanza makes sense a little bit, but Esperanza is also a like ball viable map. So maybe if I'm Panthera, they're still expecting the ball, but they were like, hey, we can kind of like counter that with the Sombra or something like that. But if you're an SPG, they were like, what? Esperanza? You want me to play ball? Like, your Sombra didn't deter my ball yet.
Like,
like,
it's also a map where we see a lot less of Sombra and Tracer here. So the ball just might work a lot better against an opponent like Panthera.
well, of course, Panthera should be, like, you know, they're not just, like, blind guessing, like, maps here, right? So they would probably have a count. They do have a plan. That's what I believe. But we'll see. It doesn't look like they're changing anything from the last few maps, like Sorvasa, Antarctic Peninsula. This is the same, I guess, anti-ball composition that they're thinking about.
No Genji though. Becky on Tracer. So Sombra Tracer with the Doomfist with maximum mobility.
Yeah, so maybe I think the plan is going to be, hey, hack the ball. And remember, the last time Sombra hacked the ball, there wasn't enough follow-up damage to successfully, I guess, damage the ball enough for the ball to retreat, or better, take them out. Maybe Becky's going to provide that follow-up damage and keep that ball in bay.
We'll see. SSPD, although, starts to make that rotation now, finds an opponent Tracer. I think is it the first time that we see Becky on Tracer? Might have seen it for a couple of seconds.
Today.
Yeah, just for that last second touch.
8 is very low. That forces out the Immortality field. So that's good news for Panthera.
On cooldown now, there's that driver. No big casualties yet. Okay, as I say that,
Develop is down, actually. Wow.
Oh, with the counter.
All those on fire with the Tracer today.
Becky very low, so all the way in the back. Arpen could not help his teammate actually to survive.
Yeah, so Milk Aura on the ball, very, very low, but the key difference is that ball is living longer, surviving longer than the Doomfist, so that's a little bit more pressure on Panthera's backline than on SPG's backline. If you look at the ult charges difference between Slee Develop and Uchan Lee Su-min, yes, Develop is a little bit faster on the nanos, but if you look at Slee, that means how much pressure is going on to the backline of Panthera. But although falls first, but SPG Panthera wants to commit and gets rewarded. I don't think that's necessarily any extra damage from the Captive Sun, but still, I think the Captive Sun made enough space for Aid to go brr and take out the members of Panthera. So this push is going to continue, and maybe the big question is, will they be able to touch that point? Because on push, G-Clef, remember,
they're almost there. No one else contesting.
Very important.
They actually got the touch, and the nano comes in for Panthera.
And the fighting's happening elsewhere.
Slightly too late. But it seems like Panthera doesn't really care about the push, as they're just fighting on the other side. Oh, certainly they're winning.
They're not even winning anymore. Because although is like, winning? We just touched the point. What do you mean? And claims all the kills there. Yes, Arpen is stealing away the robot on the side of SPG so that they can't make any further pushes. However, Hidden is down. That means Arpen is isolated. He has to run away for his life.
Yeah, but fortunately you're Doomfist, so you have that mobility. As we say that Uchan does get the kill on the Develop. The back line, Panthera getting picked off early again.
Becky is getting, like, Becky is falling too, and this means Panthera is staggering 1 by 1. They need to regroup
even
here.
Further.
This is Slee going to fall down as well. This push is going for a while, G-Clef, because Panthera falling 1 by 1. They keep going on 4v5s, and Milgaru is looking. No, he's looking for that Sombra.
Exactly, just hitting everywhere because Sombra has been. Might have heard a few sound from the Sombra, and here's Becky. Now, been on that Genji for a while now, only hitting 80%.
Yeah, finally taking down Aldo, meaning that it's finally going to be a little bit of stability on the side of SPG. Uchan using that Captive Sun, maybe thinking that he'll take away or a member or two, but does not, which means that wasn't much value on the Captive Sun.
Still not too bad as SPG. They're still winning pretty hard on this map. Panthera, it almost seems like they're playing on a different map.
But if you look at the ultimates here, Panthera should be in order to win the next few fights because they have the Nano Blade finally online on the side of Panthera. Unless SPG makes a pick on the neutral fight without ultimates like this!
Oh, Milgaru.
Becky used the Dragon Blade but was taken down! Yes, the Nano is there, but what's it going to be for? Probably the best chances of using that Nano is going to be on just a non-Blade Genji or probably the Doofus, but that's a big tool taken away from Panthera. SPG on the push once more, trying to hit that 100-meter mark.
And SPG with those... Didn't even have to use early on. Okay, Doomfist Nano. Early kill onto 8. Someone less member for SPG. But can they really follow up even more? Actually going to be winning the fight!
And Becky down also means that it is actually going to be on the side of SPG. Yes, Milgaru is taking a nap, but he's just watching. He's a happy hamster sleeping that while his team's pushing the payload.
So I thought Hidden was going to be pressing on that EMP earlier before the kill actually happened. So leading that 4v5. Oh, but maybe Hidden was just not on the perfect point. Well, there's that contest. Now there's that EMP
early
with
EMP,
the full team,
but a good immortality field to keep everyone alive. Now it's SPG's turn to make that aggression, taking down everyone. Hey, G-Club, this might be a full cap for the side of SPG here.
Panthera, they just cannot hold the point to contest against SPG. They're just all over the place.
Panthera is switching over to the Zarya, but I think that's more of a desperation pick here. And with Milgaru, mine approaching.
Captive Sun hitting one.
Captive Sun doesn't even need to take a kill at this point, but it actually does. Hidden takes down Aid, but
Hanzo's
still, SPG is winning a lot of these fights. It's still a winning fight for the side of SPG.
Available.
And even if they lose, it's okay for SPG because they have 138 meters. Yes, so it looks like Panthera is going to finally stabilize and being back on the scoreboard. However, SPG can be very, very satisfied with their progress so far.
Oh man, Panthera, they almost lost it, and now hit him back on that Hanzo. Plus that Zarya says, okay, Becky's been dropping early during the fight, even with that blade, even with that nano sometimes. So I guess we need an extra layer on top of that, our Genji. I think it's an okay choice, but let's see if it works out.
Yeah, finally Panthera has that nano blade tool back, and like you said, G-Cliff, they have the Zarya bubble to compensate it a little bit, and okay, 1 kill. So that looks like it's 3 kills, but okay. Becky, with that Nano Blade, took a turret, an immortality field, and 1 player, while the entirety of SPG killed everyone except Becky. So, if I were SPG, I'd take that trade any time of the day.
Panthera. Oh!
Becky!
Becky!
He has a nail on his head. He's going to be Frankenstein now. But that's not important because SPG is almost at the verge of winning this game.
God.
Captive Sun already online.
Zarya down!
Oh
my god.
With that window,
SPG
it's going to be hard to even contest.
Matrix are up. So Aldo can get further kills. And Becky on Echo now. But They need someone else to actually stay on the point. Although,
Everyone, it's gone!
and that is it. SPG will be the winner of this playoffs.
And Panthera is out of Contenders Korea. Wow, what a game, what a performance from SPG, and wow, everyone on the side of SPG, Aid, although Miyogaru, Uchan, Lee Sumin, all performed really, really well, and well-deserved on the side of SPG.
Man, I don't even know what to say. Panthera's out from the tournament. And SPG, especially at the last point, although Tracer was amazing, Mugaru holding on to that push and also surviving. I think that was the key, where Arpen on the other side tank was always falling and drawing a lot of attention, and especially with the Doomfist, it's really hard to get all the heals from your own support line, as I think that was one of the biggest difference between the two teams today.
Yeah, I mean, like, what a shock. I'm still in shock because remember, Panthera is a team that has been favorites to winning this tournament. They have been tournament favorites, and they have history of going against even the best teams in the Overwatch League and even managed to grab some wins. So this is a team that we've expected to be so much more from them. But all credit to SPG. Yes, Panthera was struggling to find foot on the game, especially in this meta. It looked like they didn't know what they were most comfortable in on their in terms of compositions. But hey, it's still a roster that's really strong, and SPG winning is really, really important. And our our player of the match here is Aldo. What a performance from this man.
We're going to see some amazing Tracer plays, starting from the very first control.
Ooh, I mean, this Tracer was really, really. I mean, his counterpart was Becky, out of all people. Becky he's a Overwatch League caliber talent that was also considered. Oh,
that dragon seemed like a dragon with no. That dragon looked like a very small snake. Not a dragon level.
Yeah, coming back to although here, like, he was even going against like the best, I guess what was considered one of the best flex DPSs and contenders, and he was like back when Becky was on the Hangzhou Spark, he was on the LA Valiant, he was considered one of the best players on that team. So outshining Becky is no ordinary feat, and he made it look easy today.
I mean, there were some moments where the team just could not cover enough for Genji. And sometimes there was some amazing Blade, but I think there are a lot more moments where we were saying that, okay, Blade should have got a lot more kills than 1 or 2. But sometimes that's the risk of having Genji. Sometimes it doesn't work out, even if you have the team come for it. So Panthera is going to be gone, with, as you can see, with the result. 3-1, SPG will be moving up now. Has to fight against a very strong team, Zero.
Yeah, Zero, SPG. Well, I don't think they've actually had history of beating Zero in the Overwatch League Summer Opens.
But that's a long time ago, actually.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you're on the side of SPG, you want to bring out those old, like, good memories, right?
Yes, you
Especially do. if you've been like going against Zero 2 times in the Summer Opens. They haven't met in the Contenders scene yet, like at least not this season yet. But yeah, they do definitely want to bring fond memories back if they want to beat Zero here.
Yeah, that was before Zarya meta, so we'll see what happens. That's going to be tomorrow. But before we go into that, we do have another match here. As the playoff does continue, we go into our next match, JNGK versus Pokerface. We'll take a longer break, and when we come back, we'll have that match number 2. And welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea. Match number 2 of the night will be... you can actually... you're going to have a great time here.
So, preview. This is a golf company versus a poker team.
Yes.
No, just to give a little bit of context,
educate me on
JNGK is
it.
actually a golf franchise in Korea. They have amazing Overwatch team, and Pokerface, namesake. You know, they have this Pokerface mascot.
They do sound cooler.
Yeah. So it is a golf team versus a poker team. But no, jokes aside, JNGK, it's really meaningful for JNGK here because JNGK has been around the contender scene for a while, and this is their first ever Contenders Korea playoffs.
And talking about JNGK, as this is a matchup that we told you guys a while ago, as there are some really highlight players in both teams. Both teams really, especially the Genji plays are amazing on both sides.
Amazing.
Depending on the team comp, let's see who comes on top. I think we're going to be highlighting a lot of that nano blade or just a blade because these players don't even need the nano to make like 4 or 5 kills on his own.
Yeah, like you said, G-Clev, both Genji players, Genji players on both teams. Actually, Pokerface has 2 great Genji players in Valentine and Finale, but I think, like you said, the Genji is going to be very pivotal to whatever win conditions these teams may have. New kid on the block, JNGK, first appearance on Overwatch Contenders Korea playoffs. Yes, they've been in playoffs in Contenders Australia. However, on the Korean region, it is their very first Contenders Korea playoff appearance. So it's really up to them if they can make an upset. If they do manage to win Pokerface today, that's going to be a huge upset because G-Clef, Pokerface has a lot of high-value names here.
Yes, but before going into Pokerface, take a look at the roster first for JNGK, and especially a Spin's performance throughout the entire fall series has been I think one of the biggest names in the Fall Series Korea that is Genji is absolutely amazing. Pulls off some amazing plays when he's alone, surviving with low HP. So been on, especially not just on my eyes, been on a lot of other teams' players' eyes on that Spint, and also this entire roster has been doing some magic, but this might be their limit. It could be really tough because Pokerface does seem like a slight more favorite of this matchup today.
Yeah, so a lot of good points that you mentioned, G-Club. Like, I just want to start with Spint here. Spint has been the premier Genji on the side of Contenders Korea Fall Series. Yes, we've been seeing a lot of good names, like even Becky. Like, we've been seeing a lot of, ex-Overwatch League talent, also players that are at Overwatch League level but cannot go to Overwatch League because of their age limit. But Spint does definitely stand out, especially in this season, and is a big part of why JNGK is in the playoffs in the first place. But you'll see Pokerface here proud, a very good Sojourn player who has been impressing a lot, especially this season here. Valentine, formerly of the Boston Uprising. We've seen a lot of good Genji plays on this from this player as well. Peppy, a off-tank player, so we might be expecting a little bit more of that Genji Zarya, especially with Valentine here. Lego, Simple, both players have multiple seasons of experience on the contender stage, so on paper it looks like Pokerface does have the experience, does have the expertise here. However, it remains to be seen because JNGK has defied a lot of expectations here, and that's how they got here in the first place. But we'll see. First map is going to be Lijiang Tower. Pokerface, as the higher seed, will be making that pick.
Higher seed, of course, and also, as you have mentioned, the experience on that roster, especially for Pokerface, does seem like a clear favorite. But they're here for the playoff, and you never know, because we've just had some wild maps happening in our first match between Panthera. So we'll see as JNGK. They can certainly have, of course, a Pokerface pick from having the higher seed. That's going to be the advantage coming into this matchup, and Lijiang Tower, a perfect map. Maybe not all the time, but a pretty good map to maybe get a little hint of who wins, who has a better moments with that Genji and the team comp, of course.
Yeah, so definitely I think we'll be seeing, even looking at the rosters here, we'll be seeing a lot of Genji and Lijiang Tower here. Lijiang Tower is also very interesting in that, like, there's no really bad comps for Lijiang Tower. Depending on which round, which sub-map it is, it looks like it's going to be Night Market for the first round here. All the compositions are at least playable. As you can see, I thought Pokerface would be going with the Orisa here, but no, both teams are going with the Sigma, which is pretty surprising to me, to be honest.
Early on, Spin on Echo plus Sojourn from Archie.
Okay, pretty much similar compositions on the tank front, but a vastly different concept on both teams because Spint is on the Echo instead of the Genji. Pokerface is a little bit more mobile because they have the Lucio and the Symmetra TP to move around.
Oh, Pokerface.
So Pokerface's plan is to outmaneuver JNGK, which they're doing so right now. And also, without the Echo making a lot of crucial kills here, they also lack a lot of the firepower to win this game.
Yeah, really well done by Pokerface. I think they basically cornered the entire team of JNGK, so they can't really have a good position to do any source of damage. Of course, Spin could have done a lot more, but without the teammates on the other side, cornered into a wall. It was going to be tough. Now, first win for Pokerface.
So, a good change from RK here to the Hanzo, because it offers a little bit of a one-shot headshot kill potential, which means that a pick here leads to, even though if Pokerface has the maneuverability, being at a numbers advantage will be able to negate that. However,
the output is just way too big of a difference with the Matrix up early from Simple.
Yeah, that was a high-value amp Matrix if I've ever seen one here. And if you look at Pokerface here, also all their ultimates are slowly coming online. Both DPS ultimates online, and also the Gravitic Flux coming up soon. So yes, JNGK will be having their ultimates as well, but it looks like Pokerface has the countermeasures in order to win this fight, or at least stall, because it's already at 52% G-Club. So even if they concede this fight, I think they should be enough to get at least 80% out of this.
Double Sigma plus the Flux on point.
Good sound barrier to counter that Gravitic Flux. Oh wait, Spin does survive enough for that second
Valentine?
Second Gravitic Flux, but was not able to make any progress.
If everyone's on point, well, that artillery certainly can do a lot of work.
That was an expensive fight for Pokerface. In the end, having to use almost all the ultimates. Well, actually, all the ultimates that they had in store. But that was the same for JNGK as well. So, Spin!
Valentine!
The turret! The turret killed Spin! What happened?
I think it was right after the Swift Strike. I have to imagine having no other mobility. Now, 99%.
So this is overtime. Last fight.
Oh man, pressure's gone. Pokerface got this.
I agree as well. There's nobody to touch, and that will be Night Market on the side of Pokerface. Pokerface is, I think the win conditions and composition of Pokerface was superior to JNGK. Yes, JNGK drafted an okay composition. Like, if you're going with the Sigma, Poke is going to be definitely a thing, but...
Let's take a look at the replay. As Valentine and replay that we really want to see is that... Okay, we're not going to get to see that. Spin Genji getting destroyed or melted.
Exactly, by the turret, no less. And I think Pokerface doesn't have any reason to change compositions here because it's working. JNGK does put in a little bit of a curveball. If Spin... Okay, no. Actually, I thought Spin would have gone straight with the Symmetra, but it's going with the same composition, except that RK is matching the Bastion with Proud's Bastion. So still, so it's pretty much similar to Night Market here. Pokerface has the maneuverability, and RK falls. What a good boot from Lego. So that's more firepower on the side of Pokerface, and also the first cap is going on Pokerface's
Yeah, pressure off, also very low. Just managed to keep themselves alive. But they'll be first off the point, not even crossing the bridge. Pokerface, well done, limiting the DPS.
And I think Pokerface's composition shines more when they already have control of the point, remember? Because they can flank, they can disengage, or they can engage at will. So they have the options, they have the choices. Yes, Pokerface is in a lot of pressure, but off is the first one
even
to
with
fall.
The Matrix. On point, Pokerface getting a whole lot of pokes down. Okay, Spin early. Duplicate onto Sigma, but will that be enough?
Will, yes, getting decent charge, but I don't think we'll be able to live long enough for that Gravitic Flux. Pressure is down as well, and this is yet another team fight win for the Pokerface. Pokerface is getting immense value out of this Symmetra pick here, because not only it's the damage output from the Symmetra, the TP, that JGK turn with that RK transfiguration was really decent, but they just TP'd out of the angles. So there wasn't an angle for RK to just make any kills, and after that, it was just Pokerface's turn.
So many countermeasures were happening from Pokerface, disengaging as you were mentioning right at the point where JNGK was using a lot of bolts, just going outside, and then exactly when they felt like they were needing some extra power source, Lego hitting that sound barrier at the perfect timing, and a few other ultimates coming online now.
RK starting with
and the Flux from pressure.
Ooh,
so still no kills.
So
that combo.
That was a good immortality field on the side of Simple. So they survived a very important turn. Lego, another boop on
off. Another boop.
He's on Lijiang mode right now on Lijiang Tower. And I think this is already the third boop kill or second boop kill that I've seen. And that's going to be it.
Hey, no, it's already a 2-0? Wow.
It's a 1-0 on maps, but it's a 2-0 win on Lijiang Tower.
On Lijiang.
That was pretty quick. Yes,
it was very, very quick. And wow, JNGK never looked this weak.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a subjective thing because Pokerface looks so strong right now. But I think it's also somewhat of a compositional mismatch. That Symmetra pick is doing God's work here. Yes, Lego with the nice boom kills and also like Peppy, very nice Sigma play, but Valentine with that Symmetra is making not only doing damage, but like disengaging at the right time, engaging at the right time, is being the utility that Pokerface needs to outsmart JNGK. Because JNGK, yes, they may be mechanically gifted, but they lack the experience. They lack they lack the decision making on these important moments, and especially a high stakes match like this.
High stake matches, and they didn't even have that much play time in that control, and that might hurt to bite them even more with less experience. But we'll take a short break. When they have that 3-minute break, will that be enough of a time for them to come back? We'll have that answer real soon. And everyone, welcome back to Fall Series Korea. It's playoff and second match of the day. But right now, oh man, we saw that wrecking ball, but Pokerface wrecking the other team.
Yeah, even without the wrecking ball.
And JNGK, as mentioned again, they never looked this weak against any team so far, of course. And Pokerface, their mechanics, teamwork, team competition, there's all stellar play so far from the control. Of course, things can flip in coming into future maps, but JNGK, sometimes if you don't really have that much playtime even to warm up your hands, there's not much of a feedback you can actually give to your teammate.
I think, to be honest, like on the side of JNGK, it's more about like, you know, avoiding mental booms than making strategic, I guess, changes here. Because, like you said, G-Clef, Lijiang Tower was really short. I don't think even JNGK kind of like warmed up from that map. And so I think if you're the coaches for JNGK, it's more like, hey, you know, this is just start this map as if it's 0-0. That map didn't happen. We start new. We start fresh. We pick Kings Row. So I think that's the way to go, because if you kind of look at it in a tactical perspective, like Pokerface looked like they're the superior team in all kind of aspects, like you said, G Club. So I think they should be more of going on a spirit. I don't want to say spiritual, but more on a morale point of view, because JNGK, like I said, is a mechanically gifted team, but also very inexperienced. So they have to use the power of friendship to overcome the experience and prowess of Pokerface here.
And also the map choice should help JNGK a lot more. Kings Row just calls me that, okay, let's just go with the Genji, and let's just go with Genji to see if mine's better or yours is better. And it's the second Kings Row of the day, actually. Did you get to see a moment of Spin's Genji in the very first?
Yes,
literally a moment. A moment
by the Sim turret. So, like, to be like, technically, we didn't even get to see the Genji because he was off screen.
Winston.
Oh,
Ooh.
I mean, it does make sense because remember, I always talk about the possible high ground possibilities for point A on Kings Row, and if you want to play Zarya on attack, that's not like necessarily the best option that you have in terms of attack. But Pressure, he makes me look bad. He makes me look like I have really bad insight on the game. But anyways, yes, I think like if you want to give, I think this kind of like is the intent of JNGK trying to give more resources to Spin.
Spin making sure to get those turrets first. Okay, here we go. That's Pressure with that Zarya. You have the extra source of bubble.
Peppy low, but not so
even?
concerning, especially that Spin is down.
Good rotation from
Pressure
Pokerface.
did not have enough bubbles, so this is going to be a total reset for the side of JNGK here.
Early field used by Simple just in case, but that's a long cooldown, but still not too bad as JNGK.
I mean, considering the time that JNGK has to use to regroup, I think it'll be back online unless like there's a really early aggression on the side of JNGK.
Yeah, so Peppy holding the ground. JNGK looking for that perfect. Okay, with the teleport going all the way back. Just want to feel the pressure, leaving the point though.
So, really impressive maneuvers from Pokerface here. Not only they're using Valentine's TPs to move around, but they're not
Got Lego.
They're not attacking this bubbled Genji here.
Was it right?
Yes, Lego is down. So that's kind of like a...
Still winning the contest with the Matrix up early. 1.5 tick.
RK is down, so now this is Pokerface's chance to go back. Yes, they conceded 2 ticks, but they don't want to give the point. They don't have to give up the point because they have enough damage. And that's
Nano under pressure.
Nano Zarya at 100 energy. That's a DPS threat.
Almost goes down though. Pokerface keeping the members up with the immortality field, and they're going to keep this a hold right before that final tick. Pokerface.
Wow. I think Pressure did wanted to take at least 2 members with that Graviton Surge, but in the end, it is just a Graviton Surge wasted because it did not lead into any kills, and they probably would have wanted to use that with that Dragon Blade Spin has, especially because Tamper does not have that Nano.
Then here's the Blade. Barrier and the Flux to countermeasure. And the Blade was not so powerful after all.
Well, I mean, I don't want to blame Spin for this because they didn't have enough tools to make this happen, to make this work. They didn't have the Nano, they didn't have the Graviton Surge in order to make this happen. So, and I think Spin kind of decided that if we wait until we have the Nano or the Graviton Surge, it's going to be too late, because if you look at the time bank, G-Clef, it's only 1 minute left.
Yeah, here's a minute. And still having few ultimates. So up to Arake. Spins. Peppy.
Well, he can't deflect the rock. And that's yet another delay on JNGK's deep offense here. Off is using the rally to survive and is able to survive just a little bit, but pressure is down.
Okay, this could be a chance.
But JNGK, I think JNGK has to commit.
30 seconds.
Okay,
Can you actually get to the
down
point?
is a start. They used the Nano Brig in hopes of getting someone
Nano
else.
Brig now? You still have 20 seconds though. Okay, spin. Or the overclock from Haruka has to be making the kills. There it is, overclock. Pokerface with the matrix up.
Good window from Simple.
No following up kills for either side. Pokerface backing off.
Overtime is going to collect, but pressure is down. That means there's going to be nobody to
The
save
Flux catching
from the
two
Flux
in the air. Oh man, JNGK. No more time, and now this might just be it. A full hold. Pokerface.
That is the celebratory
Lego sound barrier.
Oh, that was brutal, to be honest.
That nano, to me, said a lot about what's going on between the team.
Yeah, I mean, the Nano on the Brig was kind of like a desperation, I guess a panic.
But still had about 20 seconds
I
when
think-
Arca's overclocked. So I thought it was it was telling a lot about some maybe desperate final second miscommunication within the team. Just up against a very strong team and nothing is working at the moment. So
Okay.
yeah, at least you're not roping, so it's all good.
Hey, also, like, I think one of the crucial moments was where Pressure was using the Graviton Surge on the hotel was a very key moment because Pokerface would have probably had a very hard time if JNGK still had that Graviton Surge, especially combined with that Dragon Blade spin had. So, yeah, I guess both credit to Pokerface and also it shows how inexperienced JNGK is. Like, yes, I don't want to discredit JNGK. They are mechanically a very gifted team, but I think the inexperience on this roster is kind of taking a toll on them right now.
Oh yes, and now switching sides. Peppy Sigma has been absolutely great on the front line. I mean, keeping everything together. Now, Proud, if you make that early headshot,
That may be curtains. But RK is thinking the same thing.
oh, switching over to Batchin. Going back with the Symmetricom, teleporting to the stairs.
I don't think JNGK has an answer to this TP comp. Like, for the past map and around, they didn't have the answers.
Okay, quick
to-
rotation from Pokerface. Is JNGK ready for this?
Maybe. Like, positionally, they should be.
On position.
But the thing about Valentine and the Symmetra comp is that they're willing to TP around and make outnumber any stranded members of JNGK. But at the current moment, Proud is down, so that's a lot of DPS gone
Arcade down.
for Pokerface. And with Valentine dying as well, it looks like they have to reset.
And here's Spin doing some amazing work. As Pokerface, they still need... Okay, hold on to it. Pressure down.
Wait a minute.
Okay, the backline's gone, and
Wait,
okay, they're taking
this
the point
might-
now.
Like,
JNGK.
the stagger kill onto Spin may mean that it's over.
Oh, Hanzo's here, but Hanzo cannot jump down. There's no way alone.
And there's that window.
It's going to be the
threaten.
final tick. Oh my god,
is
Lego!
down, Lego! Oh my goodness!
That's game! Pokerface takes map number 2, just like that.
Wow, I think mods.
Oh god.
Rate this show rated R. This is violence right now. No, I'm dead serious right now. Really, this is not appropriate for children. No, really, like, man, what a steamroll from Pokerface. I think, like, tactically, Pokerface is doing really well because they're outmaneuvering JNGK with Valentine's TPs, and they are, like, there's a small window where Pokerface is outnumbering JNGK because they are outmaneuvering, because JNGK kind of like is covering a lot of ground. So there are some moments, split moments, very small windows where JNGK has less numbers to defend a single point, where Pokerface, everyone takes that TP and outnumbers and overwhelms that weak point and just goes from there.
It's really hard. Once you lose that high ground control on the first point, you do need to regroup really quickly. And so you do need to have that training early on. With a 2-0 map score now, it does look like Pokerface is going to be streamrolling in this matchup. Can JNGK do something amazing? Because we're going to have that map 3 real soon, guys. We will be right back. Let's see if that's enough time for JNGK to regroup their mental thoughts and come back in the series. Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series Korea match number 2. And that right now, JNGK is being slaughtered by a team. Wow. And Pokerface, it doesn't really seem like they need to change it up too much.
Yeah.
As they can just continue with the same team comp, as Symmetra has been working perfectly today.
Yeah, JNGK is not finding an answer to that Valentine Symmetra here. Like, yes, credit to Valentine for playing very nicely on that Symmetra pick, but as a team, I think it's more of the outmaneuvers and a very short window of time where they overwhelm and outnumber the members of JNGK and make those first picks happen, and after that, it's an easy fight for them as they outnumber the opponents. And we're in a crime scene right now because Pokerface is just literally murdering JNGK right now. Whew, and hopefully, on the side of JNGK, they want to bounce back against Flashpoint, and let me be the spoiler here, it's going to be Suravasa.
Suravasa, okay. Then perfect for Pokerface, I guess. They already had the Lucio. They already had the teleport. In terms of mobility, they have everything in their hands already from map number 1 and 2.
Exactly. I think, like, I mean, it's a tough choice either way, right? Even though if it's New Junk City, like Flashpoint just being Flashpoint means that mobility is definitely something that you need on whatever team composition you want to play. And then with the Lucio, like you said, like Lego's being very phenomenal on the Lucio as well. He's being on Legic on mode here ever since Lijiang Tower, and having that Symmetra to have extra maneuverability and mobility here. Well, I don't think they'll change comps until it doesn't work, to be honest. And JNGK, they need to find an answer to this.
It's also as a support player, it's a fun moment for support when you have less healing to do. You have that much extra room to actually go in attack mode. And hey, that's why Lucio can also...
Remember the game that you cast, the Blizzard game that you casted before?
No,
and about that support,
no,
where you just take care of the potential DPS output. Heroes of the...
oh, yes. Of course. Yeah, and also... support can do some amazing works. Double support works fantastically in a lot of different games too. Yeah, so Ravasa here, JNGK, it's their pick. So there has to be a reason. First of all, I think the team comp has to line up slightly better. I think, but can they really find the team comp to break Pokerface? Because they've already shown their mechanics and the teamwork, the grouping that they're showing around the Symmetra Sigma comp. It's actually amazing how well they're grouping together. So they're all grouped up. What's one of the best team comp that you can bring out?
Like at this point, I would want to say Zarya Genji, but because Spin has been the carry for JNGK, but we've seen that Spin is being very, very quiet today. So maybe if they can, maybe a Rhine Rush would also be okay. But it's definitely going to be a very difficult question to answer, because it's not like a singular problem where if you just like fix one pick or one player sub one player out, like it's gonna be magically just fixed for you. But it's more of about like a team thing. So it looks like they're not changing a lot from their current compositions on either side.
Yeah, and rotationally Pokerface. Okay, choosing the safe path for JNGK especially, and giving them giving Pokerface better zoning here, Spint.
It's gonna be the same thing over again, because Pokerface will be having that, will be the one having the choice, because they can disengage, they can engage, they can do anything that they want. And JNGK has to be the passive one here, and with the immortality field down, JNGK has to be even more careful. And yes, this fight's pretty even at the current moment, but Proud is being healed back up.
Oh, RK already almost having that ultimate. Oh, the DPS output.
Yes, he does end up having that ultimate, but falls in the process. Yes, Valentine and Proud also down, so it is finally a moment for JNGK to shine.
Yeah, with early Matrix used for both sides.
But remember, look at the percentage here. Pokerface already at 51%. Yes, so Peppy falls and Lego probably will fall too. Oh, wait a second.
There's no window. Yeah, there's no window that you can escape from the top. If there was one, yes, you can make the escape, but I think that just gave more time for JNGK now.
Yeah, so I think even with that loss, I think Pokerface should be pretty okay. But JNGK, they have the ultimates. They have both DPS ultimates and they have the Flux. So it's very important that they use the Flux before Peppy gets his. So it's kind of a small window of opportunity, and even with that, Lego has that sound barrier to counter. So it's not going to be an easy fight for JNGK.
So here comes the Flux with the artillery and the barrier.
Oh,
so everything used from Pokerface. They want to grab this point.
But there's no answering ultimates for Spence Dragon Blade. But currently, it doesn't matter because Proud is taking care of his spin. So JNGK had the right idea. They used the Flux first so that they baited out Lego's sound barrier. And also, Peppy used his Flux as well. So it was the perfect opportunity for Spin to pop his Dragon Blade and take, I guess, claim a lot of kills. But it didn't happen, and Proud took out Spin. So it was both an expensive fight for JNGK and also a loss. So it's going to be very difficult for them to retake the point, especially because it's 85% in favor of Pokerface here.
Yeah, look, but still, you do have that 96. Okay, both supports are ready to go. Early Matrix. Even Rally. Genji down.
Taken out again, but Peppy falls. As long as pressure is alive, they should be able to retake this point. And by retaking this point, they're actually going to take first
yes,
point.
they are. As even with everything you saw on Pokerface's side, maybe a little too much before this team fight, JNGK actually grabbing the first point, promising signs on Surabasa.
And also the next point is Gardens, it looks like. And JNGK is already in a defensive position, so it's a good thing for them. Proud, the only one approaching the ultimate is going to be Proud. So Proud has to use his ultimate to zone out the members of JNGK. But once again, Spit falls by the turret of Valentine.
Oh, early on Pokerface. Oh, Valentine does go down. Okay, 1-1 traded. So, up to the remaining members. Can they actually deliver pressure? Gets one. Let go down.
Trade kills here and there, but it looks like Pokerface will be able to flush out the members of JNGK and claim the second point.
I thought even Simple was going to be using that Matrix if the fight was dragged on a little later, but should be feeling pretty good about still holding that. Plus, the barrier is coming soon. The Flux available.
Once again, we're seeing Valentine's turrets built different. Because this is the second time we've been seeing a symmetric turret taking down Spit's Genji. Wow, and I mean, that really matters because this means that Spit's Dragon Blade is going to be delayed that much more. And pressure with the good Flux, but there is that Lego sound barrier to counter. No casualties on either side yet. Proud taking down Tamper. Spit really wanted that Dragon Blade he would have had if he didn't fall to that turret. This is snowballing a lot. Remember, pressure using that Flux, meaning that Lego has to use the sound barrier. And if Spit did not fall to that Valentine turret, he would have had that Dragon Blade to use with a sound barrier-less Pokerface. So this is a really big snowball, and that actually cost JNGK the second point.
Yeah, that's right. Temper at least got the Matrix up, so I thought JNGK was going to commit a lot more, even with a member down. But they just couldn't. At that moment, it was already too late with sound barrier up. It was not the right timing. You can't just have the blade going up against the barrier. You can't go for the kill. So Pokerface, they gave no other choice to fall other than to fall back for JNGK and his hold.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. And an extra kill.
Valentine just wanted to just give his life, but no. Spit. Okay, so that was a pretty good fight for the side of JNGK because looking at their history right now, this fight looked like it might have even costed Off's rally, but just managed to win with only Dragon Blade here, which means that they can use the rally here to make it a more even fight.
Spin off to the side, Pokerface. A lot of them just dropping ults. But will that be enough? Okay, got a lot more resources used, and in terms of power, Pokerface had a lot more ready because they just lost the previous fight without doing anything.
Yeah, so that was a good photon barrier on the side of Valentine and also a good window on Simple. But I think for Pokerface, I think they would be very happy with this fight because either way, they just won with 2 ultimates and they also baited out Off's rally, so it was 2 ultimate wins for 1. Yes, they did use 1 more, but like they got control back from the point, so I think it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, going back on Echo now, trying to target on those turrets, which made that Genji play much harder, to be honest. So
it's going to be a race for the Gravitic Flux here. Both Sigmas are almost there.
And the Flux to keep them outside.
Oh, good
to pair it up.
Yeah, good relay, good ult relay from Pressure and RK. So they are taking the point back. Yes, I think Pokerface should have enough time to have 1 more last fight, but the question is, will Pokerface Are Pokerface willing to commit in a fight that may be an overtime fight on this third point here?
JNGK looking for the second point. Okay, holding teleports inside.
Okay, good flux!
How many?
Multiple members! And that is
Did
going
Peppy
to be...
just get from that flux? That was insane.
That was a high value flux if I saw it. One.
Oh my.
They just literally won with just one ultimate, which means that
Okay,
they have all the tools in the world.
That's right.
To win the next fight, and that's going to be one win here means that it's going to be 2 points on the side of Pokerface.
Oh man, worrisome moment for JNGK. No ults available. Had to.
The touch was there, so it's going to be overtime.
Had to get Tracer. Oh, before Temper falls
Temper
early.
falls,
Proud.
spin very low without the recall, and pressure falls first as well. So this is going to be over. This is going to be a fight over, and this is going to be a second point for Pokerface. Only one ultimate used for that fight, G-Clef, and this is kind of tragic for JNGK right now because Pokerface has all the ultimates that they want. They have both DPS ultimates and with only their rally to keep them alive. And even if Pressure manages to get that Gravitic Flux early on, Lego Sound Barrier is there to counter because there's no other ultimates on the side of JNGK that can pop out Lego's Sound Barrier.
So JNGK, I think they were trying to catch a lot more members into the rotation, but that could not happen. So here's Pokerface with the barrier. Proud gone early. So this could be the chance for JNGK.
This is their window of opportunity.
Valentine.
Pressure very, very low. Spin low as well. Valentine falls, so there's no DPS on the side of Pokerface for this fight. Lego uses the sound barrier, but it's not going to be enough to save Pokerface from certain death here. And that is JNGK taking control of what may be potentially the last point of this map and the match. But JNGK definitely have some other thoughts, and now it's going to be really interesting because Pressure has the flux, but there will be no sound barrier to counter that.
But there's Peppy's flux on the other side, so we'll see. Here's the first teleport. Pressure, early flux. It doesn't seem like it was actually grabbing anyone. Just to counter.
So now it's Peppy's turn. The immortality field is there,
The
but
value
will
is
it be
huge.
enough?
And Proud taking one after another. And JNGK, even though they did get 62%, all the ults used.
Yeah, so Pokerface fumbled the last fight, but they managed to make amends by winning this one. So it's going to be a very neutral fight for this one because nobody has ults. Maybe Spit is going to be having that pulse bomb
yeah,
real soon.
Has to be making the gameplay. If it misses. Okay,
And
there it is!
Makes
JNGK.
it happen. So it is going to be JNGK on the front foot.
Yeah, and Arke just doing cleanup duty. Pokerface backs off. Still onto a target. Peppy
needs to survive if they want another chance, but it's not going to happen.
Spin
And that
again.
stagger means that JNGK might actually just complete this point.
Yeah, it will be 2-2. As Pokerface, no other ultimates or other heroes to actually contest in time. So, JNGK matching up the numbers now, 2-2.
So we're going on map point on Servasa here. Pokerface not approaching any key ultimates, and JNGK has maybe that window
Okay, the
online.
rotation.
A lot of credit for Spin for making that pulse bomb happen because that was the difference maker.
The JNGK Spin going up front, making sure that rotation is, that information is available. So JNGK, they're going to take a wide turn. Not going to, going for the risk and lose anyone. Teleport gone in the middle.
It looks like Pokerface will be able to take real estate first on that point. But with Tamper's window, that's going to be a little bit difficult to hold.
It does get the teleport up and gone early.
Okay, no casualties so far on the side of Pokerface, so this is a good thing for them. Lego wants to keep hold of his sound barrier because he knows that Pressure's flux is coming up, so Tamper down is good news for Pokerface, but not for JNGK. Pressure is down as well, so this is going to be first control on the final point on Servasa for this in favor of Pokerface.
Yeah, on top of that, Pokerface will be having +1 compared to JNGK by the next fight in terms of ultimate ready to go. But here's the thing, Pokerface, when they have the point set up already, there's so much hold for them. Especially the turret, which is always being harassment.
Low.
That's exactly what you're seeing on the screen.
So JNGK needs to rely on the Gravitic Flux and the Mortar combination.
Okay,
So
okay,
Proud is
pressure.
down. Lego uses his sound barrier, but was not able to save Proud. So if JNGK is able to win this fight, they are actually in a pretty good position here because Pokerface used 3 ultimates and still lost. And JNGK taking control of the point means that they will be in a good position as long as they keep their ult economy very healthy because they have 2 ultimates. And if they don't, like, I guess the worst scenario for JNGK is that they use both ultimates, all 3 ultimates, and still fail to win the fight.
Again, up to Spin to come up with a clutch kill. Early barrier up from Valentine. And as we look for a Spin, I think that was...
Oh, that kill
It
all
hit
Lego
Lucio?
was. It didn't stick, but I think the damage was there to take out Lego, but off and tampered down. So no form of sustain whatsoever for the side of JNGK.
Oh, JNGK losing this fight would mean almost the game.
Remember, G-Clef, I said the worst case scenario is that JNGK loses with using all their ultimates. Off needs to change to Lucio just to get that extra speed because, like you said, this is final fight territory for the side of JNGK. They need to touch.
Pressure with maximum pressure, 5%, and Spit does come in blink to contest
The
just in
overtime
time. But
triggers.
the recall.
If JNGK loses this is their end of the road.
Early Matrix,
for
making
their
sure no
playoff
one else
runs.
can come. And Tracer down. Big problem, no one
Then
else can
nobody
contest.
touched.
And that is it, Pokerface is going to be moving up to the next round of the playoff.
Wow, JNGK looked a lot more competitive on Sravasa, but was not enough to take down Pokerface and their playoff runs. Yes, it's meaningful in that sense that it's the first step that they ever made to Overwatch Contenders Korea playoffs, but that is going to be the end of the road for JNGK, and Pokerface moves on to the semifinals.
Oh man, Pokerface. First 2 maps, I have to say, they were dominating pure fashion against JNGK. It almost felt like it was going to be very likely a 3-0 series, but still, coming into Flashpoint Sravasa, JNGK did come up with a very good contest. And I have to be amazing. I almost thought that JNGK was able to grab that Sravasa with their ult charges and the ultimates, but at the end, some better moments coming in from Pokerface, and we do have Peppy, the tank from the team, being the POTM.
Well deserved by Peppy, to be honest. His Sigma play was phenomenal here. Yes, pressure also shined at some certain moments of the game, but like his fluxes, the way he also kept his team alive from the Bastion turns like this was one of the key reasons that Pokerface made this look very easy.
Yeah, Sigma, not just protecting your team.
Oh, this flux was so
a beauty,
tasty.
A beauty. 5 men, everyone in the air.
And at that point, it's just easy kills for everyone else on the team. Yes, kill credits were divided throughout the entire team, but like not just a matter of him taking like multiple people on his fluxes. It's just that he also picked out the most important ones. So here's your results. Comparatively short day, considering that it was playoffs and it was against the more competitive teams on this region. Panthera losing out to SPG 1-3, so SPG advancing to the semifinals, going against Zero, and Pokerface taking down JNGK on their first playoff runs in Overwatch Contenders Korea, meaning that Pokerface goes against Dreamers, another tournament favorite.
Another very strong team who did not have a single loss in the groups. Same for Zero. We'll be facing SPG. That'll be happening tomorrow. We have only 2 matches for the playoff and only 1 for the grand finals, but of course a longer one for the grand finals. But will be exciting because SPG, they look strong, but against Zero, that's questionable. Pokerface, they look to be the dominant team today against JNGK, but it's it's always Overwatch, and when you go up against a very strong opponent, it might not look the same.
Yeah, but Pokerface, I think, would be very happy today because they have that confidence boost coming in. And Dreamers, I think, yes, usually when you're having a bye and going on to semifinals, one of the advantages that you have is that you see the other team play. You see who your potential opponents is going to be, and you kind of analyze how they're going to play. But to be honest, I don't think Dreamers got anything meaningful from today's match because Pokerface just steamrolled. They only used one composition, and JNGK failed to answer that single composition. So maybe, yes, they do have a hold on what composition they will probably use as their first option, but yeah, apart from the fact that they're pretty good at this comp, I don't think Dreamers will be having any meaningful analysis from that. Maybe they do because they have a talented staff, but I think Pokerface has got a lot from today and will be looking very competitive against Dreamers.
Yeah, that morale boost, the confidence level should be really high. Going against Dreamers, of course, a very strong opponent, but Contenders, playoff time, it is certainly the best time for... I just have to say I love it so much. Of course, might be the last one for me for Fall Series Korea. So I had to say I enjoyed fully APAC and also Korea. And I mean, these amazing talents just continue to strive, and there are roster changes, and it's very interesting to see this player working in a very different fashion, but still working with the teamwork with a different roster. But it always happens in Contenders. That's exactly why you love and you continue to follow these teams, or sometimes specific players, and they just continue to deliver all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you said, G-Clef, some of these teams go major roster overhauls every season, sometimes because Overwatch League teams pluck out the best players from your team, and also since this is the tier 2 scene, you just see a lot of roster shuffles, even within Contenders. Sometimes you want to go to a stronger team to showcase your abilities to maybe get picked for the league next season, or sometimes you just want a bit of fresh air because their current team didn't work out so well. But the stories that these teams make is something really phenomenal, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we do. Of course, it's not over yet.
It's not over. It's only day 1 out of the 3.
Yeah, we have still 2 more days of playoffs. Of course, Opara Papadaka and LaFon and Possible will be there to bring you the action.
Exactly.
But hey, it's been so much fun.
It's been so much fun throughout this year, and it's going to be even better because playoff just gets better until the last moment.
You have tomorrow's matches, and then you have the grand finals on LAN with... I'm looking at the tickets here, and you're going to see a lot of people coming in. And also, a lot of Overwatch League players who have already returned to Korea are going to be on LAN. Of course, not on the stage.
Extra pressure.
But they're going to be in the audience seat, cheering for their friends, cheering for their ex-teammates, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a big festival and also a big moment to find out who wins this entire Contenders Korea. But thank you everyone for watching Contenders Korea. Continue to love Contenders and support all the players as we continue to have the playoff. This was only day 1, day 2, and the grand finals will continue in the following days. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
you.